Hello, everybody. Marcus Trevetti here. Welcome back to the CarolinaCast. As like I said, we're kicking off our new CarolinaCast podcast season. With the football season ending, and really until football season comes, not a lot of sports is going around right now to broadcast on a frequent basis, like bigger events. Not really until like March or so, until March Madness, and then we'll have the NBA playoffs following that. So right now we got our podcasting season in the big thick of things. So to start, welcome to our second episode. As I believe I mentioned this previously, but if I didn't, correct me if I'm wrong. But well, I'll mention it now. So for the podcast series, we will have our Carolina edition, which is Carolina sports that will be mainly covered by Christian Sam. And then I have two different podcasts that I'm covering. I'm the host of the college basketball podcast, and I'm the host of Just the National News podcast. So today we're not really going to talk much college basketball since we have our very own podcast for that. Expect an episode out probably tomorrow. I believe this is coming out Sunday, so actually expect an episode out on Monday, President's Day. For that. But today, let's get into our national news edition. So, mind you, this is pre-recorded. This is recorded on a Saturday night, right before the Saturday Skills Showdown, right in the middle of the Kentucky Auburn game. But this will be uploaded likely tomorrow. I'd say probably in the morning. But either way, let's get into it. So, our first subject, and by the way, it's just me today. So our first subject, I want to actually get into the thick of things and talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend. So I was at the Rising Stars event last night. It was really enjoyable, fun seeing the future of the NBA, the next stars take over. It was also fun seeing the G Leaguers play too. Those G Leaguers, they work pretty hard. They try to get to that NBA level. Not quite there yet, but it is an honor to be part of All-Star Weekend for them. So it was a really cool event. I didn't go to the celebrity game. I didn't really watch much of it. I know that Team Shannon won, obviously. Micah Parsons won MVP. So pretty cool how they're bringing major football athletes into the celebrity game. But for the Rising Stars game, what I saw mostly is, they didn't really try that much, I want to say. Like, I don't mean to say that, but like Victor Wembanyama, he's in perfect mid-range shooting range, but he just throws up an alley-oop and then it gets stolen. So like that's obviously not going to happen in a real game or a playoff scenario or something for an NBA team. But like it's just a fun little street ball tournament for these young guys to participate in. So yeah, the G League team made it to the finals. Actually, Matas Buzili's really fun to watch. Same with the Monty Bates and Mac McClung highlight reels, and then also Team Jalen, which was mainly led by Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and Benedict Mathurin, the hometown kid in Indiana. So Mathurin put on a show. He's going to be fun to watch in the future, especially with Tyrese Halliburton. So fun event. Not like the biggest deal in the world if they won or lost, but very, very fun and nice event. But now tonight, to remind you, this is pre-recorded, so once you see this, all the results will have happened. So the dunk contest, the three-point contest, Steph versus Sabrina, which is its own version of the three-point contest, and then also the skills challenge. So let me pull up these rosters if I'm correct real quick. I believe skills challenge 2024. Let me get to the 2024 Kia Skills Challenge. I'm sorry about that, folks. All right. So for the Skills Challenge, it's going to be the Pacers team, which is represented because of Indiana. That's where the town is in. Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. So those three. And then team top picks will be Paolo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama. And then team all-stars is going to be Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young. So I think unintentionally also all all-stars from the East. call me biased, but I'm gonna go with probably the smallest group of guys. But I'm gonna go with Tyrese Maxey, Trey Young, and Scotty Barnes, the team all stars, to win this event. Big Trey Young guy, huge Atlanta Hawks fan, so yeah, that's obviously coming. But at the same time, I mean, two really good ball handlers in Maxey and Young, all three good shooters, and Barnes. I know defense doesn't play a big component, but he's an incredible athlete as well. Not saying that the other guys participating aren't. For the 3-point contests, realistically, it's not. I don't think it's going to be Trey Young, but I want it to be Trey Young that wins it. But actually, I'm going to go with a little bit. I'm not sure if he's won it yet. I'll have to look it up real quick. But I'm going to say Devin Booker wins the 3-point contest. D Book, a prominent shooter, one of the only guys out there that's put up a 70 plus game performance in the NBA history. 80 as a matter of fact. I don't think it was 80. I think it was like 70. I can't remember, 70 something at the start of his career. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Devin Booker to win the 3-point contest. Let me check real quick if he's won one. Okay, yeah, he won the 2018 3-point contest. All right. So Devin Booker has won before. So I'm gonna say Devin Booker wins his second 3-point contest. And then after that, we have the Steph versus Sabrina 3-point contest. That should be really fun. I'm really excited for that. Two of the best shooters in the game, respectfully, ladies and men's. Sabrina Ionescu, absolute stud. I'm more of a Caitlin Clark guy, but I mean, she's great too. Steph, the greatest shooter to ever walk the court of the NBA. But for the 3-point contest, this is actually close because Sabrina Ionescu is shooting from the WNBA 3-point line. She's dominated from there, set the record last year in the WNBA 3-point contest for most threes made between WNBA and NBA. And obviously, Steph, stud, magician. I'm going to actually say that Sabrina Ionescu wins the dunk contest. So I just feel like she's got the hotter hand, but like at the same time, I don't think it determines who's a better shooter. But still, I'm gonna go with Sabrina. By the way, Kentucky Auburn, big shocker here. Auburn's down 39-29 at the half at Neville Arena. So Kentucky's 15-0 and advantage in points off turnovers. But either way, the final event on Saturday, the dunk contest. Tonight is Saturday, my bad. But either way, for the dunk contest, this is also a tough one. I've seen Jaylen Brown get up there. I haven't seen much clips of Juan Wick or Jaime Jaquez Jr. or whatever you want to call him. Triple J. I don't know. I haven't seen too many clips of him dunking. I know he's an incredible athlete, though. But I think I'm going to have to go with the back-to-back champ, Mac McClung. I'm going to say he wins the dunk contest once again. I think he's going to put an absolute star show on for tonight. But so those are my Saturday skill predictions. But for this All-Star game on Sunday, I think I'm going to have to go with the Western Conference, actually. I'm expecting a big game out of LeBron, big game out of Luka, big game out of Durant, big game out of Jokic, all those guys. I mean, the West, I think, is more talent-loaded player-wise. A lot of great players in the Western Conference. Steph Curry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think they just Anthony Davis. I think they are Kawhi Leonard. The list can go on forever. I think they outlash the East, and I'm going to say that the Western Conference picks up the dub. I'm not going to give a score prediction since they don't really play defense in the All-Star game. It's just for fun, It's an exhibition game. So, but for the MVP, I'm going to say either LeBron or Luka. LeBron, he's been doing this thing forever. He's been in the All-Star game pretty much every year in his career. I think every year. Not for sure, though. He might have gotten injured sometimes. I can't remember exactly. I'll have to look that up at the commercial break. But yeah, LeBron, he's been doing this thing for so many years. He's a stud. So is Luka. Luka, a huge score. Luka, one of the best scorers in the NBA, if not the best scorer right now that's currently healthy. Maybe outside of Joel Embiid, and then Luka Doncic, guy that I think is going to win the MVP. The voting might not say that, but I'm going to say Luka wins the MVP in the regular season right now. But for the All Star game too, I think he's going to put on a show. Luka Magic. I mean, although I would love Trae Young to win the MVP of the All Star game, I would erupt. That'd be probably the most successful. Sorry, something happened weird. My bad. But that would probably be the best thing that happens in Atlanta Hawks history. Not history, this year. My bad. That'd be the best thing that happens to the Atlanta Hawks this year if Trae Young wins the All Star Game MVP. I would go crazy. But either way, that's my coverage for the All Star Game. Quick first half stuff. I'm gonna hit you guys with my finals matchup right now, who I think is gonna win, and I'll hit you with my MVP right now. Just trying to make it quick since the All Star Game does mean a lot to people. So my finals matchup right now, for sure in the East, I'm gonna have to go with the Boston Celtics. The Miami Heat, always great in postseason basketball. The Knicks are looking up. The 76ers should be able to adjust by the time by not having Joel Embiid, and then by the time they get Embiid, that's a huge, huge, strong heavyweight that is being added on to their team to move the ratings up for them. The Milwaukee Bucks don't actually look that great right now in the Doc Rivers era. They're 3-7 right now. They just lost to the Grizzlies on Thursday, and also in the East, like I don't really know who else is a threat to the Celtics other than those teams, but not even really. I mean, the Celtics by far have the best roster in the NBA. Their coaching is great. Joe Mazzulla, questionable calls he made coaching wise last year, but his first year coaching, big pressure as the Boston Celtics head coach. That's a huge job to fill, but I'm going to say the Celtics do make the finals this year. They finally break through. Great team. I know they broke through in 2022, but ended up not winning the finals. But I will say they make it again this year. I think we're going to get a three-peat of Celtics versus Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. That should be a fun one to watch. That'd be a movie again. But they've added a ton of guys like Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Derek White's only getting better. The roster, the bench, everything's better. Jason Tatum's only getting better. Jaylen Brown's only getting better. Like it's all up for Boston. But outside of the West, I think that's much more difficult. The Timberwolves right now, the best team record-wise. I don't think they're the best team in the playoffs, though. Like, they have a little bit of experience, but not the greatest amount. They don't have by far a blow away offense, just an amazing defense that they have with Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, the two absolute forces that they have at the big man position. Anthony Edwards, he's a stud, but he's not anything screaming like top 10 yet or anything. But so I'm not gonna say the Timberwolves actually. I think it's between the Clippers and Nuggets. Oh, I would throw the Suns in there too. I'm gonna kick the Clippers out right now because I said Nuggets or Suns out of the West. You know what? Let's go with I don't know. Oh, this is so tough. I'm really having a tough time to decide between Nuggets and Suns. Screw it, man. Let's go. I'll go with the hot take. I'll go with the unpredictable. Give me the Phoenix Suns. All right. I know this team doesn't have an amazing defense or anything, but it does have an amazing offense. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal hasn't been great this year, but I'm sure he's going to only be up now. Yusuf Nurkic has been solid. Grayson Allen has been a great addition to them. He's been scoring buckets. He's a great defender. It's a good team that the Suns have built. That Frank Vogel has committed to. But, I'm going to say Kevin Durant. He's got that playoff experience. He knows what he's doing. Big Booker guy. Love Devin Booker. He's a stud. I'm going to say he's going to have a big playoffs. I'll say that they face the Celtics, but my NBA champion, I'm going to have to go with the Boston Celtics. At that point, the star power for both teams is right there. But at that point, it just comes down to who has the better roster, who has the better defense, who has the better coaching. All three of those go to the Celtics. So give me Boston to win the chip right now. And then for MVP, like I said earlier, I think it's going to be Luka Doncic. Luka's been absolutely putting video game numbers up. It should be Joel Embiid, but the rule of 65 games that you have to play. Well, Embiid, newsflash, Joel Embiid will not play 65 games, so he's out of the voting. So it's going to be Luka Doncic, in my personal opinion. I don't know if it'll go to him because the league loves Giannis. They love Jokic. They really like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but it should be Luka Doncic. I mean, the guy has put ridiculous numbers up ever since he came into the league. He's been a stud. He's been one of the biggest offensive forces. Teams played their whole game to stop Luka Doncic. He brought that Mavericks team to the Western Conference Finals a couple years ago, where they fell short to the Warriors, unfortunately. But this guy's never won an MVP before. So, I mean, this has to be the year, right? Eventually, we know that Luka Doncic will win an MVP. The NBA can't just hold him up from not getting one. So, it's got to be Luka. And then that's pretty much it for my predictions for the NBA. When we come back, I'll talk about MLB coming back soon. I don't know. I'm not the biggest of hockey fans out there. So if you're looking for hockey, unfortunately, I'm not going to have a lot of it. I'll try and bring on a guest that's a big hockey guy sometime soon. Then we can have a hockey special or something like that. But I do watch the playoffs. Tonight they have Devils versus Flyers at MetLife Stadium. That should be a fun one. Then Rangers versus Islanders tomorrow in the Stadium Series at MetLife as well. That should be great too. And if I had to pick a team to win the Stanley Cup for hockey, I guess I would go with the New York Rangers. I mean, a great team. They've been dominating the league this year. Artemi Panarin, absolute stud. And they're a great team on the ice. But so when we come back, I'll talk a little bit NFL. I'll actually wrap up with NFL. But before NFL, hey, spring training. Catchers and pitchers have reported. The team has reported. Spring training's underway. Games will start next week. I'm so excited to cover that. We'll get back to that right when we come back from the CarolinaCast. You're watching the podcast recorded version. The three words you have been waiting to hear. I know we didn't cover a lot of it on the CarolinaCast last year, but yeah, man, expect that we are going to cover a lot of it this year. Baseball is back, baby. Everybody's been waiting for this. The season is underway. Spring training has begun. Games will begin next week. This is the last weekend until November that we will not have baseball games. Unbelievable, amazing. Baseball's back, everyone. I'm more than excited for it. The Atlanta Braves, my favorite team, also a White Sox fan as well. They are on the up, man. They are looking like a World Series contender. Not trying to jinx anything, but I love my Atlanta Braves. Expecting a huge season out of them. The White Sox, I'm expecting a huge season out of them to get the first overall pick. Yeah, you know what's up. They're contending for to be the worst team with the Oakland Athletics this year. Yeah. That's how it feels. But either way, so it is. I'm beyond belief. It came back so fast, and that's the best thing ever. That baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I would have Nick Bear and Ryan Schlesinger, CarolinaCast member. Nick Bear broadcasted the Super Bowl on CarolinaCast. Thought they would be on for this show, but apparently not. They're a little bit busy. So I'll have to take this segment on my own. But you know what? We could change this at any time in the season. First off, I think the only right way is, where are these free agents going to land? So obviously, uh, guy guys like Cody Bellinger, Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, huge impacts, huge player impacts for teams. Any team, I'm sure they'd be willing to sign them. Even the Dodgers, they have every position filled out, but I'm sure they would want them. Like, but these guys have not landed a contract yet. Like their former teams don't even want to sign them back. I don't understand what the problem is. But free agents are coming back. Jorge Soler signed with the Giants. This week. But for the big three right now, I'm gonna give you my prediction of where they will sign actually. So Blake Snell, I know why teams are conservative on him because he's the reigning Cy Young winner, but Blake Snell is increasingly aging and he's extremely inconsistent. So like he's not the best ace you could have out there. He's not the most reliable out there. He could be bound for a bad season for Blake Snell standards. So, but I'm sure any team would love to have Blake Snell like in the middle of their rotation or at the number two starting pitcher position. But personally, Blake Snell, I'd like to see him on the Atlanta Braves, but most of those rosters are filled out. But personally, if I'm gonna have to pick, I wouldn't say he goes to hometown Seattle. He's not gonna go back to San Diego. I'm gonna say, and Corbin Burns got recently traded to the Orioles as well. That should be fun to see him in the Orioles uniform. But Blake Snell right now, I mean, I'm thinking off the top of my head. I didn't even go or like think of this before I started this episode. This is actually tough. I don't know where he would sign. Um, you know, I'm actually gonna go with a hot take here. I'm going to say Blake Snell signs with the Minnesota Twins because outside of Pablo Lopez, they don't have any true dominant pitcher. And in my personal opinion, Blake Snell is a better pitcher than Pablo Lopez. Yes, Pablo Lopez is a great pitcher, but I think Blake Snell is even better. But I'm going to say he becomes that number one guy for the Twins rotation because, yes, the AL Central is not the best division in baseball. It is probably the worst division in baseball, but it's still competitive at some standard. Like, we don't know who's going to win. I get that the Twins won it last year, but that's not a guarantee that they're going to win it again. The Royals could win it, the Tigers could win it, or the Guardians could win it. Any of those four teams, they're all competing to win the division this year. And in my personal opinion, I think the Twins, they got the biggest advantage right now. They got the playoff experience from last year. They just made the playoffs. They're ready to go back there. So why not sign Blake Snell to a contract and bring him to Minnesota? Help him improve your roster. Like, I don't think that's a bad call. And I'm going to shy away from Jordan Montgomery. We'll go to Cody Bellinger now. Now, this one, I don't understand why the Cubs wouldn't bring him back. He was a stud last year. Guys doubted Cody Bellinger. I mean, he was thought as, oh, this guy, he's officially washed. Cody Bellinger's officially past his prime. He's never going to be MVP Belly again. Well, I'll tell you what, he wasn't MVP Belly, but this guy was let me double check. But this guy was a Silver Slugger caliber player. This guy was an absolute force at the plate last year. Yeah, he wasn't his MVP self, but he was a stud. Yeah, he was a Silver Slugger. Finished 10th in MVP voting as well. And that's behind guys like from the Braves and Dodgers with the likes of Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Matt Olson, and the MVP Ronald Acuna Jr. So, I mean, Cody Bellinger was a stud last year. The guy popped off. He had a great season at the plate. And, he had a better defensive season than recent memory as well. So, yeah, I mean, he tallied 26 home runs, 97 RBIs, 307 batting average, 356 on base percentage, a 525 slugging percentage, and an 881 OPS. So, I mean, Bellinger was an absolute force last year. So, I don't know what team wouldn't want to pick him up. Personally, I do really, really believe that the Cubs should bring him back, but I just don't think they will. So, honestly, People were saying he would go to the Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees need him anymore since they have Juan Soto. I mean, they don't need him, but they should want him. But they have Juan Soto to fill that hole now, so much better avoid. Um, mm, mm, mm. I feel like Bellinger would need to go to a bigger market. Mm, mm, mm. Oh man. Oh, let me check this team real quick. I need to see if they have like a solidified guy at DH slash first base slash right field. Cause one of their newer guys that they signed, not sure if he plays right field or not. No, he's gonna play left. Yeah, all right, let's go with this. I'm going to say that Cody Bellinger signs with the San Francisco Giants. The Giants have been picking up a lot of guys. I don't think they're quite there yet where they'll be considered that, yes, they're a consensus playoff team for this year. No, they're not. I don't even think they're the second best team in their division. The Diamondbacks have that right now. But with the addition of Cody Bellinger, it could be close, Like that's a really good pickup if they get Cody Bellinger for San Francisco. And that offense is only bolstering up. They have a really good pitcher in Logan Webb, a solid bullpen, a solid defense. I mean, it's a good ball club. It's a big market. Why wouldn't Cody Bellinger want to go there? It's San Francisco, man. It's right back home where he used to be in LA. So I'm going to say Cody Bellinger goes to the Giants. I think that'd be a big signing for them and a big signing for Cody as well. And then finally for Jordan Montgomery, I'm going to wrap this up quick. I'm going to say he goes to the Texas Rangers. I just don't see him in any other situation. He has to go back to Texas, right? I mean, this guy practically carried that rotation, maybe outside of Nathan Eovaldi, but that guy was a force in that rotation in postseason baseball with Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom being injured. I mean, Scherzer pitched one game, but them two being injured. I mean, the offense also elite last year in the playoffs, but Jordan Montgomery was a force, though, and there's no way that the Rangers don't bring him back. I get money situation, blah, 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 blah. They're not on great terms with them right now, but still, you got to bring him back, man. Jordan Montgomery has to go back to Texas. I just can't see that he doesn't. So that's going to be it for the free agents. And finally, I don't think I want to hit you guys with my World Series predictions yet, but I'll give you 3 dark horse MVP candidates for each league for the AL and NL. So, for the NL, or no, we'll start with the AL actually. Number 1 dark horse, I'm going to go with Juan Soto. I mean, what else is there to say? That guy's probably a top 5 hitter in baseball, if not top 10, or I mean top 10, if not top 5. He's extremely young. He's only going to get better, only going to improve. A great vision at the plate. He's got great power too. He's got great contact. He's a 5-tool player. He's an absolute stud. So I'm going to say Soto, dark horse, and he loves to hit bombs in New York. So he loves to hit home runs in New York. So I mean, and he's gonna play 82 games in New York. So like, either way, for my next dark horse, I'm not sure if he's more so of a dark horse, but I think he relatively is. I'm gonna go Julio Rodriguez. I think the Mariners are gonna be a very good team. Amazing rotation. That offense, it's not anything like superstar level, but it is respectable. It's good. It's a good offense. Julio Rodriguez, the captain, the star, the show of that offense. Who says he's not going to be good? The guy's a stud. I'm going to definitely go with Julio Rodriguez to win dark horse MVP. He's 100% a dark horse candidate. Like the guy was a stud in the second half of the season last year, an absolute baller. Won the home run derby did he win the home run? No, Vlad won the home run derby, but he went nuclear in the home run derby last year. And, the Mariners didn't make the playoffs last year. They're out for vengeance now. And J-Rod also a great defender, keep in mind. It's only his 3rd year in the MLB, so if you can see the trend, I'm going with younger guys. So, yeah, Julio Rodriguez, great power hitter, 5-tool player as well. He's going to steal a lot of bases. Yeah, he's going to be a stud this year. He's going to have an amazing year, in my personal opinion, his best year of his young career so far. So, and then my last dark horse candidate, I'm just gonna say Randy Rosarina, nice little fun pick. I don't see a shot. I don't see any world where he wins the MVP this year. But just a nice little fun answer. He's a very entertaining player, one of the most electrifying players in baseball. If he could be more consistent this year, yeah, well, we'll say Randy Rosarina is an MVP candidate, sure. In the NL, dark horse, that means I cannot pick Shohei Ohtani or Ronald Acuna Jr. Mind you, those two have already won MVPs. And as you notice, I didn't pick Judge either because he's clearly probably the favorite to win the MVP in the AL with Showman Ohtani out in LA, the other side of LA. But for the NL, the first guy I'm going to go with, I'm not going to say Matt Olson either since he was a candidate last year. I'm not gonna say Bryce Harper either. I mean, I get he was injured last year, but he didn't even have a better season than Marcell Ozuna last year. But still, I mean, his playoff performance. Don't remind me, I'm a Braves fan. But I'm gonna go with Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll, electrifying player. Again, another five-tool player. Great defender. Great defender. Great hitter. He was a stud in the postseason. The leader of that Diamondbacks team. The star of the show of that Diamondbacks team. That's a really good Diamondbacks team that just made the World Series Diamondbacks team. And Corbin Carroll, fast guy too. He's going to be all on the base paths a lot this season. So expecting a high OBP from him, a lot of stolen bases from him. He's gonna put up some MVP numbers this year. And then I don't think there's any guy like reasonably to say in the NL Central. Yeah, whatever you want. You could say Elly De La Cruz, but he's Elly De La strikeout. He strikes out way too much. It's going to be his real first full year of the MLB, so he's not going to be an MVP candidate. He's not that good. Trying to think of some NL East guys. You know what? I'll give my friend Ryan some respect. I'll give the Marlins some respect. I don't think this would happen either, but he was close. He was close to doing it in the first half, at least last season. Luis Arias. Let's say he. Oh wait, let me change the topic. Luis Arias. So I'll say Luis Arias is a dark horse candidate. We'll go with him. I mean, he's consistently the best contact. He is the best contact hitter in the MLB since really Ichiro Suzuki. So, and after Ichiro Suzuki, the list goes to Ted Williams. So, like the guy's just his vision, his hitting. He's a professional hitter. He's such a great hitter. He has the potential to put up a 400 batting average in a season. He almost did it last year, but it's really hard to maintain that pace. But he put up above 350 batting average. So yeah, he's obviously going to win the batting title again. Like if he can add some more home runs to that plate, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot more for him to do. Maybe just the Marlins being better, maybe a little bit better defense from him. Yeah, he should be a good dark horse candidate. Yeah, a nucleus of his best batting season contact wise, and then his best power season too. Yeah, make him the MVP. I don't care. That's Ted Williams, man. And then after that, my last dark horse candidate. Okay, you guys are gonna hate this, but it's only right if I go with an Atlanta Brave. Michael Harris, man. You guys are gonna laugh. You guys are gonna laugh. You guys. Sorry, lagged out there. You guys will immediately click delete this video. Don't want to see it again. But Money Mike, let's go. Let's say Michael Harris wins the MVP. Yes, sir. But he's probably not even like the fourth best hitter on his team. But Michael Harris electrifying on the base paths, a great defender. We saw that in Game 2 against the Phillies last year. The only good game the Braves played last year in the postseason. And then Michael Harris. A great hitter too. I mean, he strikes out a little bit too much, but he really picked it up towards the end of the first half and didn't really look back at since. So, I mean, he's the center fielder of that Atlanta Braves team, captain of the field at the outfield. Might not be the best player in the outfield, but still the captain of the outfield. Yeah, let's say Michael Harris has the best season of his career, wins the MVP. Sure. Okay, and then finally, for our last segment today, we'll be talking NFL, and I'll come back in 33 seconds after this ad break. and I'll just give you a quick recap on the Super Bowl in my personal opinion, and then I'll hit you. I'm not gonna hit you with any NFL predictions next year, but I'll give you my insight in who I think the Bears and Falcons quarterback will be next year, since those are my two teams. All right, we are back with some NFL offseason talk, our last segment of the day. To start things off, Super Bowl 58 reactions. What did we learn? The Kansas City Chiefs are a dynasty, ladies and gentlemen. As my good friend Jake Morgenstein said earlier, Patrick Mahomes, not an MVP, never going to win a Super Bowl again. Yeah, well, Jake, I think Patrick Mahomes heard you right before that game, and he said, yeah, screw this guy. I'm going to prove him wrong, but I think that's really the only person out there that is doubting Patrick Mahomes for the rest of his career. So, Jake, please find some better takes about Mahomes. But either way, what did we learn? Mahomes, top 5 quarterback in NFL history. That's not even a question. Travis Kelce, probably one of, if not the best tight end in NFL history. Just still don't think he is, but Andy Reid climbing up there as top 5 head coach in NFL history. Clark Hunt, one of the best owners in NFL, the best. It's all out there for Kansas City. They are the best. It's literally just the New England Patriots all over again. But, Mahomes didn't even really need a star performance from Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl. He found things his own way. He was able to set the tempo. He was able to take care of special teams and defensive miscommunication woes and offensive woes from the 49ers. And he was able to eventually turn that out as one of the best Super Bowls in recent memory. Second Super Bowl that went into overtime and get the game-winning touchdown. So that's Patrick Mahomes for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a dynasty. It's no one's going to beat them besides Joe Burrow right now. It's the best team in the NFL. It's one of the hardest teams in NFL history to beat. As long as Patrick Mahomes is the signal caller of a team, that team will be nearly it's going to be close to next to impossible to beat them in the postseason. So there's only one active guy who's done it, Joe Burrow. And he only did it once. So it's a no-brainer to pick the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl again next year, but I'll be different. I'll pick another team, I guess, but still just a phenomenal squad. There's nothing really else to say. As for the San Francisco 49ers, I mean, they're still the Avengers. They still have a great team. Brock Purdy, great QB. Kyle Shanahan, though, oh man, the Chiefs just have his number. The Super Bowl has his number. Never found success in Super Bowl football, but Brandon Ayuk, he disappeared too. I just hope the 49ers don't have an Eagles season like last year. I think they'll still maintain good pace, but that team just needs to grow, and they need to eventually find their footing and win a championship, because that is a championship-built team. And maybe they'll get lucky and not play Mahomes eventually. But either way, so those are my Super Bowl 58 reactions. And then as for the Atlanta Falcons and Chicago Bears situation at quarterback, this is interesting. Both teams, we don't know. It's not a guarantee who their quarterback will be next year. So it's really interesting. I'm going to have to say, for the Bears, I'm going to have to go with Caleb Williams. I just don't think Justin Fields is the answer in Chicago. He's played there too long. Another year of failure. The Bears are back to rebuilding, straight from the scratch. They're trying to get a playoff football next year. I don't know if that'll happen, but they're trying to. At least more wins than this year, 8 or 9. That'd be acceptable. It kept Eberflus, so Fields has another bad year. I'm sure Eberflus is gone. They switched offensive coordinators again. Now they have Shane Waldron from Seattle, but I think he'll be able to elevate Caleb. He elevated Jared Goff, led that Rams Super Bowl team that got to the Super Bowl. Didn't win against Brady though. and then he also resurrected Geno Smith's career. So maybe he could do something to Justin Fields that Luke Getsy couldn't. Justin Fields, great talent. He's a talented quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. Like, he's not bad. He's solid. He's a solid quarterback, and he has the potential to be great. But I just don't think it's going to work out in Chicago. And why pay him more money next year when you could keep Caleb Williams, who's probably going to be better eventually, and who's like a highly touted prospect. This guy is one of the higher touted prospects in NFL history. So why keep Fields when you could just have Caleb Williams for like 5 years? So yeah, well, I'll say Caleb Williams for Chicago, but Justin Fields in Atlanta. Hey, look at the opinion change. Whoa. hey, I mean, is there really anyone else to pick? I don't think Jaden Daniels will fall to the Falcons, but it has to be Fields, right? Come on now. Yeah, you could say whatever you want about Kirk Cousins, but this is a much better offense than the Chicago Bears. It's just horrible coaching from last year. I don't even want to say his name, the man with the mustache, the guy that was the head coach for the Falcons last year. Yeah, he's gone. So I think it's Justin Fields' time in Atlanta, man. Georgia boy, like, what else do you want? A great talent around him: Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, great offensive line. They have everything offensively. They just need to find their footing, and they could easily dominate the NFC South for years to come. Yeah, Baker Mayfield's cute and all. The Buccaneers were a great story and all that, but Falcons are a better team than the Bucs. I'm just going to be honest. If they had better coaching, they would have swept them this year. So there's nothing telling me that wouldn't have happened. It's a great defense too that Atlanta has. So I'm definitely going to say Justin Fields is the QB for Atlanta. I'd love to see him in that offense. Love to see Raheem. My bad. I was about to say something about Raheem Morris. I don't know why. New head coach of the Falcons, by the way, but he's defensive minded. I'd love to see Justin Fields get drawn up for some rushing plays, some trickery plays with Bijan Robinson and Algier in the backfield. That would be beautiful. Love to see him throw to Pitts. Love to see him throw to London. So yeah, it would be a lot of fun to see Fields in Atlanta. But so I think that's going to pretty much do it for us here. Mind you, this is pre-recorded on Saturday, so any free agent moves, any all-star predictions that have went wrong, whoa, haywire. So this is pre-recorded, but we'll see you later. So it's been a fun one, and remember, keep tuning in, as we're going to have a lot of these to come for the CarolinaCast. And this isn't the first national news update. And if you didn't really like this one, you wanted some more action, don't worry. I'm going to make sure we have some special guests next week. We'll announce them later. And the college basketball edition is going to be coming out Monday. We recorded tomorrow. So, and Kentucky Auburn could play a big factor in our next college basketball show. That will have special guests as well. So either way, you're watching the pre-recorded podcast on the CarolinaCast. We'll see you later.